Aloha from the Ozarks, folks. I'm inside of this 16 by 40 garden shed that would make an excellent hunting cabin or tiny home or home office space or she shed. This is 16 by 40 and that's measured from the exterior outside eaves. Okay, so inside you're a little bit less than 16 by 40 because you have to account for the eaves and the wall thickness. But standard on all of our buildings, 2x4 wall studs, premium grade, pressure treated, 16 inches on center, and we double studs every third wall stud or every 4 feet. They'll be double studded. That gives you extra super strong walls. I did mention that they're premium grade. We do a single wall stud at the bottom, or a single at the bottom, single 2x4 at the bottom of the walls. Double 2x4s at the tops of the walls. That's our wall cap or wall header. We double stud them up here because it gives us a very strong and sturdy place to anchor our roof trusses to the tops of the walls. Okay, standard on all of our frames of doors and windows, double stud at minimum, we double stud them. In this particular case, we got it quadruple reinforced across here, but it'll always be at a minimum double studs. And that's for the doors as well as the windows. And why do we do that? That helps that frame to stay square with the building so that once it is delivered to your site and leveled, your door and window frames are going to stay square and they're going to open and shut like they're supposed to do. Your door and windows should open and shut properly. And that's because we double stud all of our frames. If you're shopping around at other companies, make sure you're getting double studded door and window frames, okay? Now, let's talk about the rest of the building. At the top of the walls, can't really see. You can see maybe a little bit of light peeking through up there. That is because we put a Soffit ventilation system on the eaves out there. All along this sidewall, we put holes in there for airflow. For us, a Soffit ventilation system. It's patented, so it's a Graceland exclusive. And it's on both sides of the walls. And it allows for improved airflow to come in. And then the air goes out the screened in roof ridge vent. That screened in ridge vent runs the entire peak of the roof. It's screened in to keep out bugs and debris, but it allows for that superior airflow. Our airflow and air ventilation in our buildings is superior to any other portable building company that you're gonna find out there because we move a whole lot more volume of cubic feet of air, which means the building will stay cooler and it helps get that moisture and humidity out of the building, which means you have less moisture and humidity inside your building. Less chance for stuff to get mold and mildew, all right? It's a big deal and it's a Graceland patented exclusive as to how we do that. Now let's talk about the roof trusses. Again, 2x4s, premium grade, pressure treated lumber. The one thing that I definitely want you to pay attention to is the base of that roof truss is resting on the top of that wall. It goes all the way across, rests on the top of that wall. If you're shopping around, you're gonna notice that most of the other building companies don't have the base board of their roof truss resting on the tops of the walls and mounted to those walls. Okay, they take a shorter 2x4 and they put it up higher, and that's how they reinforce their roof trusses. But what they lose when they do, they save money by using a smaller piece of wood, but what they lose is what we have is lateral stability going across the top of your buildings. Just like we have floor joists underneath that go across, these roof trusses act exactly in the same manner that they provide lateral stability in the building. Other building companies don't build their roofs this way. They save a little bit of money by doing so, but you lose in lateral stability inside your building. That's a portable building. It's going to go down the road, down the highway to get to you. Having that roof truss like that helps keep this building, the box of this building, square and stable and solid. Okay, so that's an important thing to note. Now, the roof itself is OSB. You can't see it because on the inside of the roof, the OSB roof, we put radiant barrier on the inside of this particular building, which is an option. You do not have to get that. This building already has it. Okay, so but it is OSB roof decking. On the outside of the OSB decking is metal, standard 29 gauge metal on the outside, and between that metal and the OSB decking, we put a moisture barrier. It's a tar paper. Okay. So that's standard for how we do all of our roofs. And this one has that extra radiant barrier on the inside. The radiant barrier reflects out 97% of the sun's radiant heat, which helps keep the building about 20 degrees cooler in the hot, humid summertime, which is a big deal. It's not an insulation, so it doesn't insulate. So it makes very little difference in the winter time, but in the summertime, let me tell you, it makes a huge difference. You can walk into a building that has this in the roof and then go walk into one of my buildings that does not have it in the roof, In the heat of the summer, you will definitely notice the difference, up to 20 degrees cooler. All right, so I've done talking about the roof. I've talked about the walls. Let's talk about the floors. I forgot to mention when I talked about the walls, the siding is LP Smart siding on this particular building. LP Smart is a product by Louisiana Pacific. That's what the LP stands for. And it's made out of all aspen wood, and they use resins that hold this together. It's not chipboard, it's not particle board. It doesn't fall apart under moisture. It was designed especially for the portable shed industry to provide a high quality, very durable siding that is definitely better than chipboard. And in some cases, you might even consider it better than plywood. Plywood can delaminate, but plywood is more expensive, and it's still considered the gold standard for building material for a wall and a floor. But if you'll notice, when you look around at places being built, like a home being built, they don't use plywood anymore. This is LP Smart. It's a very good, high-quality product. You can Google LP Smart and find out about it on your own if you'd like. But we use the same thing for the flooring. It's called LP Smart flooring. The only difference between that siding and this flooring is that they put a covering on it that makes it impact-resistant, mold and mildew resistant. So it's a very good, high-quality, durable product for your flooring and for your siding on the walls. They are tongue and groove, so all the slabs are tongue and groove interlocked. Same thing with our siding. We do interlock the siding slabs tongue and groove, okay? Underneath the floor, which is 5/8 inch, we have our floor joists. And our floor joists are 6s, 2x6s, not 2x4s like the wall studs, 2x6s. So they're thicker. But just like our wall studs, they are 16 inches apart all the way across the bottom of this building. You can upgrade to a 12-inch on-center floor joist if you like for our super heavy-duty flooring. We have to custom build that for you. It comes standard in anything that we build that's a garage, but in this kind of building, we would need to custom build it, and you'd need to let us know that you want that upgrade, but we can definitely do that. However, most people are perfectly fine with the standard 16-inch on-center floor joists in a building like this, okay? It's still a very, very strong and sturdy building. Underneath the floor joists, we have 4x6 runners. They're the skids that are underneath the building. They run the entire length. There'll be 4 of them in this building. Those are also pressure treated. They're 4x6s, and they notch them out 1 inch deep, okay? 1 inch deep. Every place a floor joist goes, it sits down inside that notch on all 4 of the runners underneath. That secures this building to those runners, giving you a super sturdy and strong base for this building, all right? No other portable building company that I'm aware of does their floors like that. Rent to own is available on this with no credit check. 1 payment is the minimum I require up front. With 2 payments, you get 90 days after it's built and delivered to your site before you would have another payment due. We offer different discounts throughout the months. As the months change, the discounts change, so check out the latest pricing right there on my website or message me. You got the number there, you got my website there. Aloha from the Ozarks.